What is the longest amount of time that you have gone without sleep? For me, it's probably 24 hours when I was in PA school. And let me tell you, I was exhausted. But for some people, they can stay awake for 1, 2, 3, 4 days before they start to feel the crazy impact of sleep deprivation. If you've ever wondered what would happen if I didn't sleep for a prolonged period of time, this video is for you. My name is Autumn Martin, and I am a practicing sleep specialist working in outpatient medicine. Today, I am going to be letting you know what happens to your brain and your body when you are sleep deprived. We're going to be breaking down the sleep deprivation by phases, so let's jump in and figure out what happens to your brain when you're not getting any sleep. Now, before we get too far into this video, I do want to say going for extended periods of time without sleep is not healthy. If you are experiencing prolonged sleep deprivation, seek help. It is not good for your brain. It is not good for your body. And if you have gone more than 24 to 48 hours and cannot sleep, you probably need to be seeking medical care or talking to a provider about chronic sleep deprivation. Before we talk about sleep deprivation, you understand what is sleep deprivation. Now, most studies recommend that adults get about 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. It's going to be different based on age. Younger kids and teenagers need more sleep than older adults, but we're going to base it off the 7 to 9 hours recommended by experts. Now, if you don't get a good night's sleep here and there, you're likely going to be fine. But chronic sleep deprivation can cause lasting and lifelong effects. We already know that chronic sleep deprivation leads to impaired memory, increased inflammation, and can long term lead to increased risk of cardiovascular health. However, let's break it down into 5 different stages, starting by stage 1, or 24 hours without sleep. Did you know that just after 24 hours without sleep, your symptoms are similar to that of someone with a blood alcohol content of 0.1, which is legally drunk? You can't be operating heavy machinery. You shouldn't be on the road at that point. So, what I tell people is things that you would not do drunk, you should not do after 24 hours without sleep. Symptoms of sleep deprivation after just 24 hours are going to include things like impaired memory, irritability, drowsiness, increased risk of stress, decreased alertness, food cravings, puffy eyes, and significantly increased risk of mistakes at your work, at home, or just in general. You're not going to be focused. You're not going to be clear headed. You're going to have a hard time doing any sort of critical thinking just after 24 hours without sleep. Okay, you've gone 24 hours. What happens now at phase 2, at 36 hours without sleep? Well, common sense says your symptoms are probably going to intensify, and you would be right. So, those symptoms of decreased alertness, decreased cognition, decreased critical thinking, all of those symptoms are going to get drastically worse. At 36 hours without sleep, you're also going to experience something called microsleeps that will last about 30 seconds. They're these tiny increments of sleeps that try and help your brain get some rest because you're clearly not getting any. At the 36-hour mark, you're also going to start experiencing more physical symptoms. Appetite's going to go up. You might start to experience more tremors or shakiness. You're not going to be able to react to physical environment or stimuli more quickly. This means that with reduced cognitive functioning and reduced physical alertness and reaction time, you are likely to make more errors. Think long distance truck drivers, surgeons. People who are operating at a high level without sleep is not a good idea. Okay, stage 2, you're feeling tired. Stage 3, you're feeling exhausted. Stage 3 is 48 hours with sleep. You have been up for 2 days. And at this point, those microsleeps are going to go up. And you may even start to experience hallucinations where you see, feel, or hear things that aren't actually there, which can be as terrifying as it sounds. At 48 hours of sleep deprivation, we have blown past phase 1, where your symptoms mimic legally drunk. You are wasted. You shouldn't be on the road. You shouldn't be doing critical thinking. You shouldn't be doing anything that requires fine muscle movements because you're also likely to experience more tremors, more shakes, or impaired reaction time to physical stimuli. You are not doing well at stage 3 because you have gone 2 days now without sleeping, and it's showing. But we still got 2 more stages to go. So you've blown through 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours without sleep. Stage 4 is 72 hours without sleep. And just like every previous stage, your stages compound. That critical thinking, worse. That response to stimuli, terrible. Memory consolidation, not happening. Those hallucinations you were experiencing, intensifying. You may even start experiencing complex hallucinations. You might start to have depersonalization. You might start to have disordered thinking. Honestly, at this point, you need to be sleeping, and that sleep drive is going to be sky high. Your body is going to be wanting you to shut your eyes, get in bed, and go to sleep. And at this stage, if you have not already sought out medical attention, you should be. If you are unintentionally staying awake and cannot sleep for 72 hours, you need to be seeing a medical expert because you are not going to be yourself. You are going to be walking around feeling heavily intoxicated in a haze, potentially hallucinating, and needing help. But there's one more stage, and that is stage 5. We've gone through all the 4 stages. Stage 5 is 96 hours or more. At this point, you may experience psychosis. Your interpretation of reality versus imaginary, you're not going to be able to tell. Those hallucinations will intensify, hearing voices, seeing things, and then also feeling things that may not be there. All of those things are going to drastically intensify, and your urge to sleep is going to feel unbearable. At this point, again, if you haven't in previous stages sought medical attention because you can't sleep, you need to seek medical help. Your version of reality is not going to be dependable. You are not going to be yourself. Those disorganized thought processes are going to increase. You may have pressured or rapid speech. You are not going to be able to think or function to even the barest of minimum levels. You should not be operating a car, you should not be operating heavy machinery, and you should not be making important decisions at stage 5. So, stage 1, 24 hours, stage 2, 36 hours, stage 3, 48 hours, stage 4, 72 hours, and stage 5, 96 hours or more. Those are the stages of sleep deprivation. Now, as I have continued to allude to, this many hours of sleep deprivation is not normal and can be a sign of underlying medical conditions, especially things like mania, bipolar disorder, or severe insomnia. So if you've experienced or are experiencing extreme sleep deprivation that is not a choice of your work, or you are not purposely doing this, you should be seeking medical opinions and expert opinions. Now, you may be asking, how long does it take to recover from sleep deprivation? Well, just 1 hour of sleep loss, it takes about 4 hours to recover. So if you have been chronically sleep deprived for weeks on end, it may take a few weeks to months to actually recover. Things you can do to recover are obviously get the underlying medical conditions treated. 2, set a bedtime, set a wake time. Make sure you're not consuming high amounts of alcohol or caffeine before bed. Make sure you set a good bedtime routine. Prioritize your sleep health. Because if not, your sleep deprivation symptoms are going to range from decreased cognitive functioning all the way to hallucinations. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you found this content helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like it, please subscribe to Sleep Coach Autumn. Have a good night, everybody.